before, so I just let you know that I have a stutter, so if I may take a couple extra seconds to say a couple of words, especially when I'm nervous in front of the course, my whole class. But my most influential teacher was Dr. Robert Daniel Hughes. He was my choral conductor, private voice teacher, and advisor, answer class teacher, and above all, he was my mentor and friend. Three great qualities about him was that he was strict, humorous, and extremely inspirational. He was strict in the fact that if you didn't have your music for course one day, he would dismiss you and tell you to leave the classroom. If you came to a lesson unprepared and didn't know any of your songs or what you actually learned for this lesson, he would tell you to leave and he would give you a 0 for that lesson. He created an extremely powerful dynamic for all of his classes. Easily, one of his most memorable qualities was how humorous he was. He's easily probably one of the funniest guys I've ever met in my life. And he often used a sense of humor to lighten the mood of all his classes, oftentimes making fun of himself or just making light of any situation. He made everybody feel comfortable in all of his classes and created this growing desire for students to want to be in his classes. And his most important quality, by far, is how inspirational he is. To make a long story short, for all of his choirs, he held exam days called Circle of Doom or Square of Doom. And basically what this was he would have the whole class set up in either square or circle, and he would have a sing a piece over and over again, and as you listen, he would tell the unprepared students to sit down, and he would eventually narrow it down to one person per each section, one alto, one tenor, bass, and soprano. And eventually, during my first Square of Doom, it came down to me and a student named Ryan Dobby. And in the ensuing round of voting, Ryan was voted the most prepared tenor, and I knew that I was the most prepared tenor. Frustrated and angered by this, I planned on visiting him in his office hours later that day. And I walked up to him and I said, "Mr. Hughes, I'm really upset that I didn't get voted the best today because I knew that I was." And he said, "Kevin, I knew you would too, but you didn't say anything. Why didn't you say anything?" And I said, "Well, I didn't think it was my place to." And he said, "Well, you should have said something, because if you know that you're the best at something, and if you're the most prepared, that you have to be willing to prove it and willing to fight for it." Then, after I just sat in front of him, taking that over about what he just said, because it was so powerful to me, he said, I said, "Professor Hughes, I think I'm good at this." And he said, "What?" "I think we're at this music thing. I think I might consider changing my major." And he said, "You are," and he said, "You are very good at this, and if you don't change your major, I'm going to force you to." With a huge smile going on his face, and I'll never forget that as long as I live. And Dr. Hughes, well, now he's Dr. Hughes because he just recently got his doctorate last year, but he embodied three very important qualities for any great teachers, and it has left a huge, everlasting impression on my life. And if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be a music major, and I probably wouldn't be here